Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 5 of the card making countdown, where I'm sharing 14 new card making tutorials with you in 14 days. Can you guess, just from seeing this, what today's card is? If I turn it over, it's very similar on the back. Let's see what happens if I put it upright and then push it out. That's right, today we're making a Pinwheel tower card. These are lovely and freestanding, and they look beautiful from every single side. I've kept mine fairly simple and just put some pattern paper on there and not added any other toppers or embellishments, but you can add as much or as little as you like to make this detailed and have pictures or photos or sentiments, whatever you want to put on. I really love that no matter which way around this is displayed, it looks beautiful, and the best thing is, it folds flat for postage. Let's find out where to get the SVG to make this Pinwheel tower card, and let's get started. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the card making countdown at craftwithsarah.com/cards25. After registering, you'll get an email which contains a link to the schedule page for the countdown. Visit the schedule page to find and download today's files. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/cards25 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the card making countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. The download comes in a zip folder. You need to unzip this before uploading the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, then go to Upload on the left and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder and then go into the Cutting Machine Versions subfolder, and then for Cricut Design Space you'll want the files that are under SVG files. Click and drag in the SVG file that's in there and it will look like this. Press Continue and then Upload. It should load in at 16 inches wide and 30 inches tall. If yours has come in different to that, then change it to fit. We need to add some score lines to this before it's ready to cut. To do that, click on the design and ungroup it with the Ungroup button at the top of the Layers panel. Then you can click away. We scroll down to show you this is all of the pieces in the card, so it's really simple and quick to cut, just lots of rectangles. This piece over here on the right hand side is the one we need to change. If you click it, you'll see in the Layers panel it highlights. It's the one right at the bottom of the layers, and there's a little arrow next to it. Click the arrow to open up the two layers inside this mini group. We've got the purple along the bottom and then the vertical lines above. Click to select just those vertical lines, and then in the Operations menu, change it to Score. Click away and then click back to select the whole group. You see we've now got the lines and the purple bit selected. With those selected, press Attach. Attach is what tells the Cricut to do the scoring on this particular piece of card. And then that's all you actually have to change. Really easy. However, what you might like to do is to update some of the colours so it better matches the colours you'll be cutting your design from, so that you make sure you put the right bits of card in at the right time. And you might want to add extra details to your card in Design Space, for example, messages, extra embellishments, names, dates, happy birthday, pictures, anything like that. But I'm going to keep this one really simple just to show the idea of putting the whole thing together. As this design's got lots of rectangles on it, you could even combine it with some of the decorative borders from day 2 of the card making countdown to add some extra interest to these sides. I'll zoom out a bit so we can see it a little clearer. I'm going to cut my base card, which is these 5 pieces, from a kind of lavendery blue colour. That's fairly similar. To change all the colours in one go, change one, then go to Colour Sync, and then you can find the colours you want to change, click and drag them onto that new colour and let go, and they'll all change together, which is quicker than doing it one at a time. For my backing pieces, I've got a kind of dark purple that I'm going to use. I'll do that one and then colour sync, change them all. And then for the patterned paper, which is the bits to go on here, I'm going to use two different ones. I'm going to do one for my wider rectangles, which is a kind of aquary, tealy colour. That's close enough. And then match those ones. And then for my, wrong one. For the narrow ones along the bottom, I've got a bright pink bit of card. So I change that to pink. And you can select multiple layers by pressing Shift and change them all in one go too. So by taking an extra couple of minutes, if it was even that long, to change the colours to match the card, it just means that when you cut it out, you know for sure you're putting your right colour in at the right time. When you're happy with how everything's looking, press Make over on the top right. Save it if you want to, I'm not going to, and then this will separate out all the colours. You can change the paper size in the drop down here, and then move things about to take up less space or to add a bit more gap between each of the shapes. When you're happy with how all of your sheets of cardstock are looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut, get all the sheets cut out from card and pattern paper, and then we'll see how it all looks when it's put together. Here are all the pieces of my Pinwheel Tower card cut out and ready to be stuck together. You'll end up with 4 of these big rectangles, and then the piece with the score lines. You'll end up with 4 of this size and 4 of your pattern paper to go in the middle, and then 4 of the long thin rectangles and the matching paper on top. To start with, let's glue all of the pattern papers to their bits underneath. I've already done most of them, I've just got one of each left to show you. I'll grab this one first, and they just get glued right into the middle. Just realised I forgot to do my glue speech that I do in every video. Let's do that. The glue I'm using is Barely Art Glue, and the reason I do this speech in every video is that I normally get asked, if there's a video I miss it out on, I get asked what glue I'm using, so I try to put it in each one. The glue I'm using is Barely Art Glue, but I also like Kalal. The reason I like these glues is because they don't bend or wrinkle the card like some glues can do, and I buy them both on Amazon in the UK. Are you fed up of hearing me say that? Alright, then my thin piece, do the same, glue it right into the middle. Don't drop it like I just did and get glue everywhere. Never mind. Alright, so as I said, I've already done all the others. Let's put those to one side and we can build up the base. Fold along all of the score lines. It doesn't matter which way round you do it. If you've got the top or the bottom of the bit of card showing, just make sure you fold them all in the same direction. So I folded all of those inwards to make valley folds, which is where the point's at the bottom. And then we're going to bend it round and glue the last rectangle onto the tab to make a little almost kind of box shape. You might have to hold this in place for a little while until the glue dries. Double-sided tape might possibly have been easier because that would stick straight away, but glue's fine too. So just trying to make sure it's pushed down in there all the way through and hold it for a little while. And then we've got a perfect square on the top. Wait for the glue to dry fully before you move on to the next step, because if you try and do the next bit while the glue's not dry, it will probably make this part come apart and you'll have to glue it again. So I'm going to step away for a moment, wait for that glue to dry, and then come back. My glue's now dry, so we can move on to the next step of attaching the largest 4 of these pieces, the ones that are the same colour as that middle, together. First, check that your middle collapses by pushing in. It should go flat when you fold it, and that's how it will go in the envelope. Open it up. There we go. And then take one of these, and we're going to glue it on so that the edge lines up with the left edge of the box. Put the glue onto the box part, not the rectangle, because only half of it's going to be stuck. You don't want to accidentally put glue somewhere or it's not going to have anything to go to. Line it up along that left score line. Then turn it round. And then going to do the same thing on here. Put the glue on and then take another side, and that will be stuck up to there. Turn it round in a minute so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. There's my glue. Get one of the rectangles, and we're putting it up against that fold line on the middle box piece. We've ended up with this. Turn it round again and do the same. And then once more for the final side. This time it gets a little bit harder because we can't put it up on its side because of the other bits. So I'm going to do it whilst holding it instead. And that's all four sides together. So now we've got our pinwheel effect, and it will fold flat like this. See, that's now gone flat. And when it comes out the envelope, push it out and all the sides will come out. I'm being a little bit careful with it because my glue's not dry yet. I don't want those sides to come off. But when it's all dry, then it will go up into that square. And now all we need to do is to add on our extra panels. So we'll fold it flat. There we go. And where you've got a big rectangle, that's where one of the big rectangular panels will go. I have realised that because I've done all my panels in pattern paper, there won't actually be anywhere for me to write a message on this card. So what you might want to do when you're cutting yours out is, instead of doing all four like this with the pattern, maybe do one with some white, and then you can write your message on that bit. That one on there, and then we're going to have a little look, and then this side on the left where we've got this little rectangle, that's just the small piece, whereas this one, the rectangle you're seeing here, is part of the big one. So we can turn it round, fold it flat again, and do the next big rectangle. Do the same thing, go round again, fold it flat, and put on the next one. And then straight after that, I'll do it one more time to put the last big rectangle on. Now all the big ones are stuck on, you can start with the little ones, and these will go on the left on each of the big ones, so you'll have this little area. Start with this one. Move it round, flatten it out, and then keep going until all four are stuck on. That's all of those stuck on. So now my Pinwheel Tower card is all finished and looking beautiful on every side. It would now be ready for me to add any extra embellishments or toppers to it to finish it off, but I'm just going to keep this as is for now. For extra videos on how you might add some toppers in Design Space and how to add extra embellishments and names and sentiments and things like that, check out day 1 and day 2 of this card making countdown for videos on that. And stay tuned for the upcoming video 9, where that goes into that in a load more detail. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed making this Pinwheel Tower card with me. Before I finish, I'm just going to mention about the envelope. This is quite a big shape and it ends up being square, but it's 7 by 7 inches, so it's probably too big to fit in a standard sized envelope that you might buy. Therefore, making your own envelope may be the better option, or you could make it smaller in Design Space before you cut it out so that it would fit in a more standard envelope, but I wanted it to have a bit of impact and be that little bit of bigger size. For a free square envelope SVG plus a full video and tutorial on how to size it to perfectly fit your card, head to the schedule page for this card making countdown and look in the foundation learning section near the top of the page. In there is a link to the separate tutorial on how to make envelopes. And I'll drop the link to that in the description of this video too. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 6 of the card making countdown. We've got a print and cut project coming out tomorrow. But for now, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut and card making videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!